Chosen one, don't look for work. Richness forever. This message was not born from logic, it was born from revelation. For the one whose spirit has already left the realm of survival. For the one who has always known that life was never meant to be a grind. You were never supposed to chase after jobs, beg for a paycheck, or shrink your light to fit into systems designed to keep you dim. You were never built for labor that drains you. You were designed to attract, not chase. You were destined to receive, not to beg. You were chosen for overflow, not for hourly wages. Your reality was always meant to be one of divine richness that flows from your being, not your doing. Before we go deeper, you have to watch this till the end and listen closely. There are no accidents here. If this title found you, it's because your time has come. Comment below with your warmest wishes. Write 99 and 777 as symbols of your alignment and your new agreement with abundance. Subscribe and join this glory journey, where what you seek begins to seek you. This is a chapter about wishes coming true and energizing the universe. The frequency of fulfillment has already entered the space. And now, you are becoming the vessel through which heaven pours its gold. You've lived long enough under rules that were never designed for your soul. The world told you to study hard, apply for jobs, submit CVs, beg for interviews, and hope to get just enough to survive. But what if I told you your mission was never about survival? It was about remembrance. You were sent here to remember your power. The moment you remember who you are, the laws of lack collapse. The systems that once ruled over you start to bow before your energy. You are not here to labor for a living. You are here to radiate, to overflow, to magnetize what others chase. Your essence is your employment. Your glow is your currency. Your being is your abundance. The shift begins when you stop identifying yourself as someone who needs money and start realizing that you are the source of it. That shift flips the energy. That shift rewrites the timeline. You stop chasing and start allowing. You stop worrying and start receiving. You stop grinding and start glowing. And in that space of inner knowing, money becomes your servant, not your master. Opportunities open to you because you are no longer vibrating at desperation. You are vibrating at dominion. And when dominion shows up, nothing can resist you. Not wealth, not connections, not success. Your true career is to walk in your divine energy. The version of you who used to look for work was under the illusion of lack. But the upgraded you is not looking. The upgraded you is choosing. The upgraded you is selecting. The upgraded you is receiving offers that you never applied for, because the universe is applying to you. Doors open, not because of your effort, but because of your alignment. The richness you are stepping into is not a paycheck, it's a portal. It's a constant unfolding of divine compensation in every form: financial, spiritual, emotional, and creative. You must release the fear that if you stop searching, you'll be left behind. The truth is, the moment you stop chasing, you'll be found. The moment you stop begging for approval, you'll be crowned. The moment you stop hustling, you'll start receiving. The energy of divine wealth doesn't respond to hustle. It responds to presence. It responds to gratitude. It responds to spiritual clarity. And now you're being recalibrated for wealth. Not just the kind you can count, but the kind you can't contain. You've already paid your dues in pain. You've already passed the tests through tears. Now it's time to cash in the unseen spiritual currency you've been stacking for years. Richness is not coming because you worked for it. It's coming because you aligned for it. And this richness is not temporary. It's not a one-time breakthrough. It's not a random blessing. It is a forever frequency. Once you enter it, you don't go back. Once you taste it, your standards shift. Once you breathe it, the scent of struggle becomes foreign to you. There are people who will not understand this. They will call it lazy. They will call it foolish. But that's because they're still trapped in the old system. They still think work equals worth. But the chosen ones are being awakened to a new truth. You don't get rich by working hard. You get rich by vibrating high. You get rich by being true to your calling. You get rich by obeying divine timing, not earthly pressure. You get rich by aligning your energy with heaven's schedule, not society's clock. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Your soul is being recalled from the slavery of survival. You are no longer here to push papers and clock hours. You are here to move energy. You are here to shift atmospheres. You are here to make money from being fully yourself, not from pretending to be someone else in a cubicle. That was never your story. And even if you played that role for a season, the script has changed. You're not on the job market. You're on the divine timeline. This is not an excuse to be passive. This is not a call to idleness. This is a command to realignment. You are being told to stop looking for the next job and start becoming the next vibration. You're not here to apply. You're here to attract. You're not here to hustle. You're here to honor your frequency. And when you honor it, it pays you in ways that no job ever could. This is richness forever, not riches for a moment, not income with conditions, not wealth that comes with chains, but eternal, effortless, overflowing richness that matches your divine signature. The world will catch up to this revelation, but you were chosen to carry it first. You were chosen to embody the new economy of energy. You were chosen to live in such abundance that it shocks those who thought you needed a career to be blessed. You are now being introduced to divine payroll, where you are paid in peace, paid in favor, paid in miracles, paid in influence, paid in clarity, paid in rest, and yes, paid in money that comes without stress. And it will keep coming, because you've chosen to stop chasing what is already yours. The universe does not pay attention to resumes. It listens to resonance. It doesn't care about job titles. It cares about soul alignment. And you, chosen one, have been pulled away from the world of hustle and grind because your path is different. You've been through seasons where nothing made sense, not because you were being punished, but because the old paradigm had to be stripped away. Everything that didn't fit your new vibration had to collapse. The delays weren't denials, they were divine edits. The rejection wasn't a stop sign, it was a redirection to riches that don't require your exhaustion. Many around you still live inside systems where time equals money. They trade hours for coins. But you were never supposed to operate by that math. Your abundance does not come from time. It comes from alignment. That's why when you tried to do what everyone else was doing, it didn't work. That's why the normal path kept crumbling under your feet, because you weren't made for it. You were designed to prosper from your essence, not from employment. This is not fantasy. This is frequency. Real wealth is a result of spiritual order. It's a manifestation of the unseen, made visible through vibration. And your vibration has now entered the divine frequency of wealth. You don't need a job to feel valuable anymore. You don't need a title to prove your worth. The days of hoping someone picks you are over. You are being chosen by abundance itself. It has been circling you, waiting for you to stop looking down and start rising up. Now, it's flowing in, quietly, steadily, supernaturally. Your spirit is becoming the magnet. What used to take 10 steps now takes one whisper. What used to require effort now flows on ease. Not because you're lazy, not because you're entitled, but because you've finally realized the truth. Working harder doesn't make you wealthier. Thinking higher does. Feeling richer, believing deeper, surrendering faster. That is how the divine economy works. It pays those who remember who they are. And who you are is the embodiment of royal wealth. The universe doesn't see you as unemployed. It sees you as unbound. It sees you as liberated from the lie that says your value is tied to productivity. Your value is infinite. Your energy is currency. Your ideas are investments. Your intuition is a money signal. When you follow that signal, when you trust those divine nudges, resources arrive without you knowing how. People appear, checks show up, invitations land, all because you refuse to shrink into systems that were never built with you in mind. Now, wealth follows you, not because you ran after it, but because you remembered that it was always your birthright. You no longer ask, "What job should I apply for?" You now ask, "What truth should I stand in today?" And when you stand in truth, everything else gets added. Richness becomes a side effect of alignment. Money becomes a mirror of your clarity. Opportunities knock, not because you chased them, but because your vibration opened doors that your hands never had to touch. This new season is not about how much you can do, it's about how much you can allow. The old you used to panic in the unknown. The new you celebrates it, because you know what's on the way. You can feel the provision before it lands. You can sense the deposits before they hit. You are finally learning the language of divine wealth. And it's not loud, it's not chaotic, it's subtle, sacred, and supernatural. It whispers, "You are enough. You already are. Stop striving. Start receiving." You may look around and not see anything yet, but don't let the physical fool you. The energetic has already shifted. Your account in the spirit has already been credited. Your name is already on the list. Your order is already processed. All that's left is for you to align. Stay in the vibration. Stay in the peace. Stop trying to prove anything to anyone. Stop trying to make yourself fit into systems you were sent to dismantle. You are not a worker in the old machine. You are the creator of a new realm. Don't go back to searching. Don't go back to settling. Don't go back to applying for things that don't see your light. You are now in a dimension where richness is natural. You're walking into rooms with no resume and people feel your value. You're entering conversations with no credentials and your presence shifts the atmosphere. You're not just receiving money, you're being recognized as the wealth. That's why your presence is being requested. Not your application, not your effort, just your presence. So what do you do now? You trust, you tune in, you allow, you create, you express, you speak what's been placed in your soul. And when you do, the right people pay attention. They respond. They pay. They invest. They pour into you. Not because you asked, but because you aligned. Because you remembered that the chosen one doesn't hustle for blessings. The chosen one becomes the blessing. And blessings always attract more blessings. You're no longer in a transaction-based life. You're in a transformation-based one. And your transformation has turned you into an open gate of wealth. You've released the beliefs that kept you stuck. You've dismantled the fears that blocked the flow. And now, the flow begins. You will begin to experience what the world calls miracles, but you will know them as normal. Because when you are in divine alignment, what seems impossible to others becomes your new standard. There is nothing wrong with work, but your soul knows the difference between work that serves your mission and work that buries it. You're not being lazy, you're being loyal to your calling. You're not avoiding labor, you're avoiding limitation. You're not escaping responsibility, you're embodying a deeper one, the responsibility to be yourself fully. That is your only real job now, and it's the highest paying role you'll ever have. Stay in the energy. Don't look back. Don't lower your frequency just to be accepted in rooms that were built on struggle. Walk boldly into this richness. Let it soak into your soul. Let it anchor you in peace. Let it erase the need to prove, to chase, to grind. And as you stand in this peace, richness becomes your forever atmosphere. Everything that once told you you have to work to survive was part of a system built on fear and scarcity. You weren't born into truth. You were born into programming. And that programming taught you that your time was money, that your body was a tool, and that your mind was meant to follow orders. But now you are being unprogrammed. Now you are being reset. Now your spirit is remembering. You are not here to labor endlessly. You are here to live abundantly. The shift in your identity is radical. Where you used to say, "I need a job," now you say, "I am a portal of provision." Where you once believed you had to qualify for wealth, now you recognize you were born qualified. Your qualifications aren't on paper. They're in your essence. They are etched in your energy. They are felt when you walk into a room. The universe responds to identity more than effort, and your identity has shifted. This is why people will soon look at your life and not understand how you're doing it. They'll ask, "What do you do?" But they won't really get it, because what you do can't be explained through job titles. It's not a job, it's a divine assignment. It's a vibration. You radiate wealth. You walk in richness. You breathe abundance. You are paid for your being, not your busyness. And the ones who try to measure your success by their systems will fail to grasp your formula, because your formula isn't built in logic, it's built in alignment. Your abundance may show up through unexpected avenues. It may come through art, through conversations, through influence, through healing others, through being your raw, honest, fully expressed self. It may not look like work, but it will feel like purpose. It will feel like flow. And that feeling, that frequency, is the real paycheck. It's not just about receiving money, it's about what the money mirrors. Your freedom. You're no longer playing the game of resumes, interviews, and hope. You're operating from sovereignty. You're not applying, you're attracting. You're not proving, you're proclaiming. You're not hoping, you're knowing. And from that place, every step becomes sacred. Every action becomes intentional. Every word becomes wealth. Your energy is so rich now, it plants seeds everywhere you go. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean you'll never do anything. It means everything you do will be anointed. It means you're no longer forced into action. You're moved by intuition. You no longer act from fear. You act from fullness. Your days are no longer dictated by alarm clocks and deadlines. They're dictated by divine guidance. You wake up and ask, what do I want to give today? How do I want to serve the world from my overflow? That is how richness expresses itself, and the results will be undeniable. You'll start to see money come from strange places. People will reach out with offers, opportunities, ideas. You'll receive gifts without asking, support without begging, attention without performing. All because your energy has been recalibrated. You've entered the frequency of richness forever, and it recognizes its own. There will be moments where you feel the old self creep in, the one that panics, doubts, and wonders, should I go back? But you'll catch yourself. You'll remember the truth. You'll breathe, realign, and know that the panic is just residue from a past life. The new you doesn't panic. The new you pauses. The new you trusts. The new you doesn't go looking for work. The new you expects richness to appear on time. Every time. You will not be able to explain this to everyone, and you don't need to. Your life will be the explanation. Your peace will be the evidence. Your joy will be the receipt. Let others watch. Let them question. Let them wonder how you're doing so well without doing what they've always done. You don't owe them answers. You owe yourself alignment. This is the season where the old ways fall apart. This is the season where the blueprint that worked for them no longer works for you. You've been chosen to build differently, to receive differently, to move differently, to flow in such divine wealth that even your rest becomes profitable. Even your stillness produces fruit. Even your silence attracts favor. Because in the spiritual realm, it's not about how much you move, it's about how deeply you believe. So, believe. Fully. Boldly. Without apology. Believe that you are already being provided for, that you are already being seen, that the richness that is flowing to you is not luck, it is law. It is the law of resonance, the law of return, the law of divine compensation. And it is your reality now. You may not know how everything will unfold, but that's not your job. Your job is to stay in the energy. Your job is to trust what's coming. Your job is to feel as if it's already here. Because in many ways, it already is. You're not chasing dreams anymore. You're living in them. You're not praying for breakthrough. You're walking in it. You're not hoping for proof. You are the proof. You are the living testimony of divine wealth. You are the breathing embodiment of richness. And this richness will not stop. It will grow. It will expand. It will multiply. And it will never require you to shrink, beg, chase, or search ever again. You're no longer someone who gets lost in job listings and career fairs. You are the listing. You are the destination. You are the magnet. The moment you stopped looking for work, the energy around you recalibrated. The universal field took notice. Heaven stopped waiting and began pouring. What once seemed delayed now moves fast. What once felt impossible now flows with ease. You're not trying to figure life out anymore. You are allowing life to reveal itself to you. That's what richness really is, a divine unveiling. Every morning you wake up now, something invisible moves with you. It's not pressure, it's presence. It's not responsibility in the old sense. It's a sacred authority. It's like the universe itself knows you're in position, and everything begins to rise up to meet you. Chosen one, you're not the one who adjusts anymore. The world adjusts to you. Richness bends to your frequency. Opportunities calibrate themselves to your readiness. And now, every day is a field of financial miracles waiting to manifest. You don't wait for permission anymore. You don't wait for the right moment or the right employer. That mentality belonged to your old self. The new you is led by alignment, not approval. You walk in authority. You walk in confidence. You know that the richness around you is already yours, and now you're just watching it arrive. You're not working for a living. You're living as a beacon of divine wealth. You've shifted out of survival mode and into supernatural supply. People will notice the glow on you. They'll sense the ease. They'll wonder how you stay calm when the world scrambles. But you'll know it's because you're not operating by their economy. You've tapped into God's economy. And in that economy, overflow is a lifestyle. Stress is not the path to reward. Faith is. Peace is. Presence is. The more still you are in your spirit, the louder heaven moves on your behalf. The less you try, the more you attract. The less you chase, the more you command. You're being asked to master the art of restful receiving. Not lazy passivity, not indifference, but peaceful receptivity. This richness that's flowing in doesn't need your panic. It needs your poise. It needs your stillness. It needs your certainty. When your heart is sure, your hands don't have to struggle. The money, the opportunities, the favor, they're already assigned to your vibration. All you're doing now is staying available to receive, and in that space, something even deeper begins to happen. You don't just receive for yourself, you become a portal for others. The richness that touches you starts to overflow into every room you walk into. People feel better around you. They feel safer, more inspired, more open. Not because you said anything profound, but because your energy is pure. You are no longer desperate. You are no longer trapped in the old script of lack. You are free, and that freedom is contagious. Now, every time you sit still, wealth visits you. Every time you breathe intentionally, blessings organize themselves around your day. You're not just out of the rat race. You've transcended the entire game. You're not competing. You're not comparing. You're not calculating how much time you have left to make it. You've already made it. The only thing left now is to enjoy it. And as you enjoy it, more comes. That's the secret most people never unlock. That joy is the currency. Gratitude is the gate. Rest is the invitation. Alignment is the engine. Once you learn to stay in these energies, richness becomes your rhythm. Not just financially, but relationally, emotionally, spiritually. Everything becomes elevated. Every part of your life becomes fertile ground for wealth to grow. This is your forever now. You've crossed the invisible line. The timeline where struggle lived has been closed. You don't even remember what it felt like to beg for blessings. You don't recognize the voice of worry anymore. All you hear now is confirmation, guidance, and celebration. The money you used to pray for now flows in while you're sleeping. The connections you used to chase now appear while you're simply being you. You don't have to introduce yourself anymore. Your energy does that for you. And with this richness comes a sacred responsibility. Not to prove yourself, not to explain yourself, but to remain yourself, to stay anchored in the truth that you are a chosen vessel for wealth that cannot be earned. It must be embodied. You are being blessed not because of what you've done, but because of who you've become. You've become receptive. You've become attuned. You've become a transmitter of divine value. As you live in this new state, you'll start noticing what you used to tolerate no longer resonates. Low vibration conversations, you leave them. Spaces that worship hustle, you feel out of place. Friends that talk only about surviving, you love them. But you know you're moving differently. Not because you're better, but because you're bolder. You've chosen to claim what has always been yours: richness without regret, abundance without apology, supply, without stress. This new you doesn't get caught up in the drama of delay. You understand that even when it looks like nothing is happening, everything is happening. That money isn't just paper, it's energy. And it's moving behind the scenes in ways that your physical eyes can't yet see. But your soul knows. Your soul always knows. It tells you, keep trusting, keep glowing, keep allowing. And that's what you do. Not because you have to, but because it works. You're not just stepping into wealth, you're becoming wealth itself. You're not chasing money, you're channeling it. It no longer exists outside of you as something to run after, to grasp, to earn. It now lives inside you, responding to your belief, your movement, your stillness, your frequency. Every choice you make from this day forward becomes a seed that multiplies, not because you're following rules, but because you've learned to follow resonance. No more searching for job offers that don't reflect your worth. No more compromising to be accepted. No more shrinking your light just to fit into systems that would never appreciate you anyway. You have exited the realm of necessity and entered the dimension of divine sufficiency. You have retired from chasing and been promoted to attracting. And this promotion comes with perks that defy logic, because this realm is governed by spirit, not systems. There are moments ahead where you'll have the option to go back. Old job offers, old responsibilities, old cycles that feel safe because they're familiar. But listen closely. Comfort isn't the same as alignment. You're not meant to return to the roles that robbed you of your radiance. You're meant to hold the line. Stand firm. Remember your power. Because every time you say no to what you've outgrown, you say yes to another layer of divine provision. And provision will be your new normal. Not just enough to get by, but more than enough. So much so that you won't just be able to pay bills, you'll be able to pay it forward. You won't just survive, you'll be used as a divine vessel to overflow into others. And you'll do it effortlessly. You'll do it gracefully. You'll do it with a peace that makes people curious. How are they doing this, they'll ask. How are they so at ease while the rest of the world is scrambling? And your presence will answer them without a single word. The richness you now embody is not just currency, it's clarity. You see clearer than ever before. You discern faster. You sense opportunity before it arrives. You know when to rest, when to speak, when to move, when to receive. You are no longer bound by time or logic or pressure. You are governed by alignment. And because of that, you are now trusted with more than most. The universe knows that when you are blessed, others will be too. So it keeps sending you more. Not because you need it, but because you've proven you can hold it. What's flowing to you now will not run out. The divine well doesn't dry. The only limit is your own belief. And that belief, it's expanding. Every day you spend in this energy, your capacity to receive grows. You start to notice the richness in everything, in silence, in connection, in peace, in play. Money is just one expression of your wealth, but your true wealth is in your being. And the more you rest in your being, the more the outer forms of wealth rise to match. You've cracked the code, and the code is simplicity. You no longer have to be busy to be blessed. You no longer have to suffer to succeed. You no longer have to perform to be valuable. You are simply here, and that is enough. That has always been enough. And now that you know it, life is rushing to reflect that truth back to you in every form possible. You've become a mirror of abundance. When people encounter you, they encounter their own potential. They feel something shift. They walk away changed, not because you tried to teach them, but because you dared to embody the truth. You've become a walking reminder that it is possible to live free, to receive wildly, to prosper by presence alone. And that, chosen one, is a ministry in itself. This is why you had to let go of the old definitions of success. You had to lose the things that used to define you. You had to be stripped of the need to prove. Because that shedding was the unlocking. The breakdown made space for the breakthrough. And now, you stand as the after, the version of you who no longer believes in lack. The version of you who no longer plays small. The version of you who no longer works for money, but walks with it. The richness you're living in now didn't come from toil. It came from trust. It came from listening. It came from following the whispers, even when the world told you you were crazy. It came from choosing peace when chaos was louder. And now, that peace is your platform. That trust is your new track. And from here, everything expands. You'll notice that people begin to come to you, not just for money, but for presence, for wisdom, for energy, because you carry something they don't yet know how to name. You carry divine ease. You carry effortless abundance. And it's not something you can teach in steps. It's something you radiate through living it fully. And here's the best part. You've only just begun. What you're experiencing now is the foundation. What's coming next will exceed even your boldest visions. You're not at the finish line. You're at the doorway. A doorway into deeper levels of richness, where time bends to your favor, where money multiplies at your command, where favor chases you down before you even ask. You are not a worker in the system. You are an architect of a new world. And that world runs on frequency, on flow, on faith. You are here to model what divine wealth looks like in human form. No resumes, no rejections, no rules, just radiance, just readiness, just richness forever. You have entered the timeline where wealth is no longer a pursuit. It's a state of being. You don't work for it anymore. You breathe it. You carry it. You walk into room and shift atmospheres simply by being in alignment. You're no longer asking for the blessing. You are the blessing. And everywhere you go, that truth echoes louder and louder. You've become a living, breathing confirmation that divine richness is not a myth, not a theory, not a maybe. It's your lifestyle now. It's your reality. The fears that once haunted you, how will I pay the bills? What if no one hires me? What if I run out? Have evaporated. Not because your circumstances changed overnight, but because your identity did. You realized you were never meant to live under the shadow of stress. You were designed to live in the light of provision. You stepped out of fear and into frequency. You left the line of applicants and became the one who receives offers from the universe itself. And now the richness won't stop. It will overflow in quiet ways. A message, a gift, a new opportunity, an open door, a sudden deposit, an idea that unlocks wealth without effort. You'll be surrounded by people who bless you just for being you. Not because you asked, but because your very existence is magnetic, because you hold a light most still don't understand, but can't look away from. There will be no more chasing, no more hoping someone sees your worth, no more late-night searches through job sites that make you feel like a number. You were never meant to blend in. You were designed to stand in your unique, divine essence and allow the world to rise and meet you. And it is. The richness is responding to your energy. The universe has become your HR department, and it's offering you a promotion without application. A life contract stamped in favor, joy, luxury, peace, and freedom. You've passed the test of scarcity. You've walked through the desert of confusion. And now, your land is fertile. Richness is reigning. Not because you changed your outer world, but because you changed your inner truth. You finally accepted that wealth is your nature, not your goal. That you are the source, not the seeker. That when you stopped trying to earn your value, value began to multiply around you. And there is no end to this. That's what you must know now. This is not a temporary high. This is not a fleeting, lucky moment. This is the beginning of forever. A life of riches without resistance, where miracles are mundane, where overflow is expected, where luxury is normal. Not because you forced it, but because you've aligned with the version of you that was always worthy of it. This is the final goodbye to the identity that once begged for crumbs. You no longer belong to the old system. You no longer belong to cycles of lack, hustle, guilt, or smallness. Your energy has declared once and for all, I am done working to prove. I am done striving to be enough. I am done pretending I am not powerful. And with that declaration, you've unlocked something irreversible. There will be days when it feels quiet, when it seems like nothing new is happening. But even in those still moments, the richness continues to gather. Quietly, powerfully, invisibly, the universe is stacking blessings with your name on them. The timing may not be revealed yet, but the delivery is guaranteed. You have aligned with a frequency that will never forget you again. From here, you build. You build from peace, not pressure. You create from joy, not fear. You move from clarity, not confusion. And every step you take in this new frequency adds more to your life than any career, any boss, any salary ever could. You are on divine payroll now, and your compensation isn't just cash. It's clarity, creativity, connections, healing, beauty, time, and flow. You are now a living portal of proof that you don't have to chase money to be rich, that you don't have to search for work to be successful, that you don't need external validation to feel valuable. You are already rich, and this richness is forever. Forever overflowing, forever multiplying, forever divine. And all of this because you stopped looking outside and finally remembered what you always carried inside. Richness isn't what you find, it's what you are.